Standing by this hour in New York is Heinrich, spokesperson for the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Thank you for taking the time to be with us.
My pleasure, John.
So is there any indication right now that Hamas is willing to agree to those conditions and that Israel will be able to pause fighting for another 24 hours beyond this current extension so that more hostages could be released?
What I can confirm at this hour, John, is that Israel received another list of hostages, 10 hostages, that potentially, hopefully, we will see released tomorrow by Hamas, but there are no guarantees here. As you know, we're dealing with a brutal terrorist organization, the terrorist organization that perpetrated the atrocities of the October 7th massacre. We, on our end, are making the preparations, and we also have a list of potential Palestinian prisoners that we have agreed to release as part of the outline. And you stated correctly, as CNN reported, that we said that for every extra 10 hostages that Hamas would release, we would agree to another extra day of humanitarian pause in the fighting. We want to see more hostages coming out of the Gaza Strip. We want to see all of the hostages returning to their homes. Keep in mind that the hostages, the 11 that returned today and the ones, a total of 50 overall that were released over the course of the past 4 days, returned to a very, very difficult reality. Some of them have fathers, husbands who are still being held captive in the Gaza Strip, or brothers, and some of them lost loved ones. So, and also keep in mind that they didn't really return home, because what is home? These communities were completely shattered. They don't have a home. Hamas, in some cases, burnt their homes. And we had to evacuate these southern communities, as we did with some communities up in the north. More than 200,000 Israelis have been evacuated due to the war.
It is hard to imagine what these people have gone through over the last 7 weeks and how they are coping with all of this. The trauma must be incredible and so difficult for them. But I want you to listen to the White House National Security spokesman, John Kirby, on Monday. He's announcing the terms for any extension in the current pause in fighting. Here he is.
Now, in order to extend the pause, Hamas has committed to releasing another 20 women and children over the next 2 days. We would, of course, hope to see the pause extended further, and that will depend upon Hamas continuing to release hostages.
I also now want you to listen to your colleague, Mark Regev, speaking again regarding terms for any extension to the pause in fighting.
For every 10 hostages released, we're willing to give an extension of another day. And if Hamas will release Israeli hostages as agreed, we will extend. That's the bottom line.
When it comes to the Middle East, words matter, and in these agreements, words matter are incredibly important. Mark Regev made a point of saying Israeli hostages. Can you clarify here? Is it just Israeli hostages being released that will result in the pause, or must Israelis be among those who are being released to ensure the pause will continue in the fighting? What are the conditions specifically for the nationalities here?
You see, John, unfortunately, I think this is a question that should be referred to Hamas. The ball is in Hamas's court right now. They're the ones holding the hostages. They're the ones who are giving us these lists. Yes, we prioritize women and children. And as far as I know, 2 women are also holding an American citizenship. And what I can say is what you know already, that we prioritize women and children, and that we don't want to see separation of families in these batches, in these groups of hostages being released. So again, we're at this moment of anticipation. Our entire nation is waiting to see what will bring the new day. As you know, we've had some complications. It's not that the process has gone very smoothly in every day so far over the course of the 4 days of the outline. And we will have to wait and see tomorrow. Hopefully, we really wish to see more families, or what is left from these families, being reunited. But we never know. We're dealing with brutal, gruesome terrorists, and we didn't want to be in this situation.
I just want to push you on this because it's a very important point, though. Hamas, yes, they control the list and they decide who gets out and who doesn't. Israel controls the military offensive. So assuming in the next day or so, let's say there are 10 hostages being released, none of them being Israeli citizens, all of them foreign nationals. Will that mean that the pause in fighting continues, or is that a break in the agreement?
We said that for every 10 extra Israeli hostages, as my colleague Mark Regev stated, we will give another day of humanitarian pause in the fighting. But again, let's wait and see. I can't really divulge much information about the nature of the ongoing talks to bring to the release of more hostages behind the scenes through international mediators, because human lives hang in the balance here, so we can't reveal much, and we'll just have to wait and see, unfortunately.
Tal, Heinrich, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you clarifying what you know and what you can say to us at this moment about the release of the hostages and the nationalities. I know this is so difficult for everybody there, so your time is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Well, now the Israeli military